Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Wow, what a Saturday of Call of Duty we have just had. OpTic Texas have come out swinging. Just a few days of practice under their belt with this new roster, taking down Seattle yesterday, taking down Toronto, certainly a top 3 team in the game today, to put OpTic in serious contention of taking a deep run here at Major 2. 3-0 now in the qualifiers, solidifying their winners bracket spot with an emphatic performance against a very strong team in all modes, with many other talking points we're going to dive into as well on the Scrappy side of things. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. Still some questions about Rambo. They actually put a graphic out here, OpTic, earlier in the day with Rambo featured. Maybe people think, okay, at least Rambo's not been fired. I think Shotzzy said on stream last night that he's not been fired. But him moving to a different role, GM or whatever, does seem more likely. Again, we didn't really see any of him during these matches last night. And unfortunately, hashtag pin by pin instead of brick by brick may be coming to an end relatively soon. Quick note as well, if it wants to load on Los Angeles Thieves, just confirmation from what kind of, was actually said earlier today, with Octane suggesting here on Reddit that thankfully after later in the day last night, Kenny texted the team saying he's feeling better, so it's looking hopeful that Kenny will be back in the team next weekends, but against London, doesn't matter what team he field right now, but Capstore did a great job, as we shall see in a second. Firstly though, Boston versus Las Vegas, I thought this would go to Boston 3-1, which is basically how it went, but I was a bit nervous the way the Search and Destroys went here. Game 1, it was pretty close, but the issue is, I think, the Vegas, right? Temp is very good and turned up map 4. Clay, given the fact that he's like the oldest player in the league, is one of still the fastest players in the league, certainly one of the fastest ARs. Like, this guy brings pace and he brings damage. They just lack that, like, not exactly the cutting edge, but they just lack that star power SMG that I think they really need to level up their respawn game. Their Search and Destroy is phenomenal, but and we know Boston are a decent respawn team. Apparently they've been frying in scrims, sorry. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's tough to say which of TJ and Prolute has to go if either of them do, but and if you do that, maybe you make the Search and Destroy worse. But if they really want to contend and win events, they've just got to be a better respawn team, and it's just something they need to do there if they actually want to, well, make a serious change and not be kind of like, top 6 at best type team as it feels like they are right now. Game 2 though, like, they absolutely dominated the Search and Destroy Vegas. They won 11 out of their last 12 Search and Destroys. Like, that's absurd to think that's their record though, but their record in terms of numbers, they came top 6 of the major. They're not looking that good in terms of qualifiers, right? Like, if you're winning 11 or 12 searches, you'd think your record would be kind of better than what it is, but the reality is their respawn is just a bit trash, to be honest. And yeah, 11 out of their last 12 searches they have won, and the final map was a bit dodgy. I'm sure Vegas won't be so happy with the spawns. I'm sure some people saw these spawns and thought, you know what, they actually make sense from a few reasons, but yeah, some of these spawns are always a bit dodgy. Number 7 spawning in the back here, shooting the guys in the back. Number 2 spawns out here. It's a bit of chaos, honestly. Whenever the hill is neutral, madness seems to happen in terms of the spawns, which arguably hurt Vegas a bit here, but Boston win the respawns. They were close for sure. Did seem a bit of RNG at times, I'm not going to lie, but yeah, Methodz and Boston get the W in the end. Vegas go down, frustrating, I'm sure, for them, and also kind of crazy to think about that Boston versus Vegas is the only CDL matchup that features 2 pros that have been competing since Modern Warfare 3 or earlier, of course, Methodz and Clayster respectively. The last 2 remaining of the pre-Black Ops 2 era, which is quite some statistic as well. These are the overall numbers here from the series. Methodz had a great one. Temp had a great final map. Clayster was dropping some mad damage. I mean, 9,000+ damage, given the situation, is impressive. But again, I just feel like it's somewhere in the SMG department in the respawns. They're just lacking that takeover ability player that can take them to the next level. But still, impressive stuff from both teams in their own way. Boston getting a big victory on the board. The second series, London versus Thieves. This was at times painful to watch, admittedly. Game 1, I'm sure London feel like they should have won this one. I don't know how they lost this. Bit of a miracle, I thought, for Thieves to actually, as they say, a miracle map to kick things off, to actually win this one. Not sure how they pulled it off. The funny thing as I thought about this is because clearly Thieves know that London are absolutely terrible. And in fairness, London have just made a change as well, right? They dropped Zero, brought Paul X in, which is like, okay, fair enough. You think that's the solution, whatever. Aseem, free Aseem. I don't know what to say anymore at this point. But yeah, clearly Thieves don't think they're anything special, because they, after they won this series, they did not even seem particularly happy with their result, which kind of goes to show everything you need to know about London right now. Game 2 was dominant, and of course, Thieves had Cap still in the team, right? Kenny was out, Cap still was in, and Cap did a great job in their series. They lost yesterday, and today he absolutely fried again. Super impressive. And I know that some Thieves fans were like, wow, we've got an SMG player that doesn't die all these times per map from YYing all the time. It's like, oh my god, we've actually got a real SMG all of a sudden. Now, I'm sure a lot of Thieves fans were thinking, you know what, kind of nice to have an SMG like Cap that's aggressive like Kenny, but also, has other, well, positive attributes to his gameplay. So I think of these performances, if Cap isn't picked up by Thieves full time, as he won't be because Kenny will come back, is he going to be picked up as a sub? Is he going to go elsewhere to another team? He might be the type of player that Vegas maybe need a bit of more firepower in terms of the SMG department to take them to another level. Certainly an acquirable player as well. He was even straight up 360 in kids as well on this one. They went up 2-0 without too much issue. Then he was frying people on the Game 3 Search and Destroy, or Game 3 Control, sorry. They won the Search and Destroy so quickly. And yes, Ravens also kind of a new team with their new roster. But, I mean, they're still playing Thieves technically with a sub. Same story for London, I guess. But, I mean, still, there was one nice round here that London, it was a 1v1 between Scraps and Drazah. Scraps won it, and it was pretty, well, icy 1v1 to be fair from both parties. And Scraps made the play necessary in the end to win it for London. But it was only one round. They got 3-0'd relatively quickly here by the Los Angeles Thieves. Thieves that got pretty much destroyed yesterday. So, not looking good for London. They're absolutely disastrous. And this was the scenes in the Los Angeles Thieves compound when they had just 3-0'd London. I mean, Octane's like, okay, whatever. Drazah looks like he's had to put his dog down, and this is like seconds after they 3-0'd London, and Envoy just seems pretty nonchalant about the whole thing, so just shows like maybe what the teams think about London, I don't know, but I thought it was kind of funny to look at, and Cap's still ice cold as ever on the left-hand side. So as Cap says, you know, GG's London 1-3-0, really great result for him individually, and also for the team. This is the immediate response here from Drazah about, you know, needed that. Shout out to Cap for coming in with no practice and absolutely frying. And yeah, will Cap get a league spot as a result of this? Will he get a sub spot on Thieves when they bring Kenny back? Hopefully next weekend, and Kenny's all okay. But, you know, pretty interesting going into the major. Now, Beans echoes many people's opinions and says, look, London are so bad. They fumbled this year so bad, says Beans. And Ben asks, did they offer you a spot? There were rumors in the offseason that they'd offered Beans a spot, but he turned it down to go to the Boston bench. Same story with Wardy, actually, for the New York Subliners bench. And to me, if I was London, like, general manager, Beans and Wardy would be the #1, like, targets on my list last season. Apparently, they never even offered Beans a spot, and they don't want to get Gizmo back, they don't want to get Harry back. It's like they're shooting themselves in the foot. I don't really get it, but yeah, whoever's making the decisions there, not sure they're making the best ones at the moment, to be honest. These were the overall numbers here. I mean, it's just red all across the board. Envoy, Cap, Drazah, good series from them. Octane didn't do too much, and this has become a little bit of a theme in the meta lately, where it's the SMGs generally that are kind of taking over the series. I think it's more fun to watch, but often you'll find the ARs in a dominant winning team will actually not have that many kills or damage or engagements. They'll be soaking a lot of hill time though when necessary, and that seems to be kind of crucial to team success right now. We'll see that on OpTic here in just a second, with Dashy winning these series comfortably, not dropping 1.2s. That's probably a good sign for OpTic Texas as well, as we shall just dive into. There's some kind of pre-game action here between Dashy and having a bit of a discussion, and again, let's kick it off. So game 1 was really interesting. I thought Toronto would be favoured in this series for sure. I said earlier today, Toronto are so good in all the modes. I couldn't see a team like OpTic, because they've only been practicing for a few days, having quite what it was going to take to get over the line here, because, okay, they did it against Surge, but they lost both hardpoints, and they did it in game 5. You're not going to get that luxury against Ultra, and even if you do go game 5 with Ultra, there's no guarantee you win it, as there seemingly is with Seattle Surge right now. So I thought, okay, for sure this is going to go the distance probably, but I thought, okay, maybe 3-1 Ultra seems like a realistic score prediction. But game 1, I mean, Shotzzy out of control. This is the thing with this Zeo, guys, and why I said that I feel like Huke is such a valuable partner to have alongside Shotzzy in this sense. Bringing him in, it's not like Scump was the problem, because I think putting Scump to the flex was a very valuable asset to the team. They made it work very impressively when they put Scump to the flex and worked it up against Boston, but it does feel to me that Shotzzy and Huke as the SMGs, the pacing they've got there just works way better than what they were doing before. You seem to get the best out of Shotzzy and Huke in this setup, and this has always been the thing with Huke. People always talk down on him, say, okay, look, don't get me wrong, he wasn't very good the last couple of years. He had his moments, but put in the right system with the right teammates, with the right environment, and we see the raw talent that Huke has always possessed, and still, of course, possesses to this day. The guy's still young. It's not like he's washed or anything. He's probably like 22, 23 or something. So, you know, Shotzzy and Huke were on fire, but iLLeY especially is the one that seems almost unlocked by this combination. Maybe he was unlocked by the Bell Fiber, which is also possible, because he was, of course, playing this series, iLLeY, from Toronto in the Toronto Ultra facility. He's stuck right now with no visa sorted. I believe it's getting sorted in the coming days. We might discuss that tomorrow. But, you know, he's actually playing from Toronto right now in the back somewhere behind the Toronto guys, absolutely frying them from their own Bell Fiber, which I thought was hilarious to think about. But, man, iLLeY has got to be the best sniper in the league. This guy was hitting crazy shot after crazy shot to win these guys rounds. Their search looks so good. And to be honest, right, I mean, you've got Dashy, iLLeY, Shotzzy, and Huke. I mean, that is just a stacked search and destroy team. And we're finally starting to see the, like, search and destroy dominance of iLLeY that we've expected for so many years come to the fore. Against a team like Toronto is impressive as well. They go up 2-0 2-0 in this series. Shotzzy was making plays as well. It just seems like the cohesion there, the chemistry, but also just the way they've clicked so quickly. Maybe it's not a massive surprise. They've played with each other before. Clicking so quickly is maybe expected, but even iLLeY hasn't been there in person with the guys, and they're still looking very strong. I mean, this is a very well-practiced Toronto team that are incredibly solid in all the game modes, and I wouldn't say OpTic beat them comfortably, but OpTic were relatively, they were clearly the better team in this series, right? It's not like they won it in a fluky game 5. They, controlled most of these maps. They did lose the game 3 control, which is a very fluky, to be honest, Fortress control. It's not the best thing to watch. It kind of reminds me a bit of Gavutu, to be honest. There are occasions where you can win offensive rounds, but it just requires breaking out of a spawn trap. If you do break the spawn trap, you've got a good chance. Thought it was cool as well with the watch party going on that they would, talk to Scump and everything as that was going on, but they would have a handicam thing that would go to the backstage and, have a quick look at the players right there. Shotzzy's having a good time, up 2-0 here in the series. Then the spicy thing happens though. So CleanX was having some plays and was just spawn trapping OpTic beyond belief, to be honest. And then the final round of this map, Scrappy decided to get into the action. Now, he hadn't really done so much so far in this series, and he came out right here after getting a kill against Shotzzy and decided to shoot his body. Now, you've got to respect this, and Shotzzy after the series actually said, fair play. I kind of tip it in a way for him shooting my body down 2-0. It's something that very few players would have the balls to do, right? Losing a series to shoot the bodies of a certain player. Obviously, Shotzzy goes for the ego challenge. Scrap's like shutting that down and shoots his body as well. And honestly, the reverse sweep at this point was still certainly on. They played Embassy map 4 here, a map that OpTic haven't been that good at hardpoint, right? Embassy hardpoint's not been one of their best with Scump on the team. So they go into game 4 here after Toronto win a pretty impressive offense to close out the game, and CleanX starts off very strong. I thought, oh my god, here he goes, game 5. Could be sketchy, Ultra versus OpTic game 5. It's been a very historical feature of the CDL over the last several years, and has usually gone Ultra's way. But not this time. OpTic dominate the middle part of the game, mainly with iLLeY absolutely frying. And this is the thing that will be very exciting to OpTic fans, is that Dashy on an individual level has not done that much so far in this game, but also not so much in this series, which is good, I think, if you're an OpTic fan, right? If you're like a FaZe fan, obviously we'll talk about their series tomorrow, but if Cellium is not frying and your team is still winning comfortably, that's kind of where you'd like to be. You don't want to be in the situation where your AR's going off and you're losing. You want to be in a situation where your SMGs are frying, and then iLLeY in this case was absolutely on another level, right? I mean, this guy, I don't know what happened. I thought maybe it was actually Scrappy that had shot his body, because he just turned up to a new level here. And this final map of the series was just on fire from start to finish. 2 pieces left, right, and center with the Scar, picking up the SMG doing it as well. Finished this game like 34 in 23, had over 2 minutes in the hardpoint as well. iLLeY was completely unstoppable this final map of the series, and it paid over to a 3-1, very impressive result on maps that OpTic, especially that Embassy hardpoint, I thought that really had a game 5 written all over it, but OpTic win it anyway, and they have had very little practice. You got to really respect what OpTic have done here, an incredibly impressive result, right? Coming off a team like Toronto, certainly a top 3 team in the game, Toronto, with, I would argue, FaZe, and certainly New York being the best team in the game right now. To be beaten like this by OpTic in that fashion is incredibly indicative of OpTic's potential. I think we said a few days ago when this OpTic team was announced that if they can go 2-0 this week, that is a real statement for their intent to maybe not win Major 2, maybe that's too early, but by the time they get to Major 3, their home event in Texas, they should be on form. They certainly have the ceiling and the potential with the roster they formed and the way they're playing and the chemistry between each other to win their home major and maybe do even more from there. Now, I've got to quickly browse through Scrappy's comment section, because understandably, after shooting bodies against OpTic, it's not going to end too well. So if we just scroll down a little bit right here, you mentioned a talk, shooting bodies, GG Scrappy. So, some relatively nice comments, some not so much. Cute move, shooting bodies after a Mickey Mouse map. Rook, maybe next time. GG's Ernie. And then we've got the, the whole Fortnite L thing, which I thought was pretty funny as well. Body shots for the L. So, there's like hundreds of replies to this saying similar things. Thought it was pretty entertaining. And even there's some CDL power at iLLeY when he tries to enter the facility and Ultra. It's not going to go so well for him. But he should be back in Texas in a few days' time. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. These were the overall numbers. Insight going positive. Scrappy goes negative actually after shooting bodies with not a particularly good map 4. OpTic turned up towards the end, and very consistent KDs, right? Winning a series with 2 players dead even and a couple of players barely at a 1.1 is really indicative of great teamwork. OpTic, I think, in the past have been in situations where they'll outslay by a lot and barely win a map. When they do win maps, signs like these show they've got great potential within this roster. So very much enjoyed your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.